rainy and cold Knockhill racing circuit for the penultimate round of the Scottish BMW Compact Cup, and on pole position is Liam McGill. First time on pole, he's at a second place overall, but he is fairly confident of converting this pole position into a race win. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through all the action.
Thanks very much, Joe. Liam McGill then on pole position from David McNaughton, Lee Elric next, then Ali Smith, Cliff Harper on row 3 with Gary Clark, and then Greg Sutherland and Steve Goldie. Jake Hutchison and Doug Simpson row 5. Row 6, Stephen King and Andrew Mackey, then Ashley Morris, Andrew Prince and Gordon McShannock. Ready for the start, our first Scottish BMW Championship race of the weekend. The lights go out, and in white it is Liam McGill side by side with David McNaughton. Lee Elric lines up third. He in black and green is the championship leader, but McGill's made a good start, so too is David McNaughton, who's trying to brave it out on the outside line as they go down through Duffus. Lee Elric is third, Lee going off a little bit wide, McNaughton more so, and McNaughton still on the outside line of McGill as they go down into McIntyre's, and Elric takes the back end of McNaughton, who spins around. David McNaughton, as he kept it going, he has, and Lee Elric are coming together between the two cars on the first lap of the race. So high drama here as Stephen King, and was there a little tag for Ashley Morris? Not sure, but the back end was wayward, as indeed several cars are, and that car is beached, the number 7 car. Stephen King, who qualified in 11th place on the grid, is well and truly beached. That is going to be a safety car without a doubt. There goes Ashley Morris in the 77, our lady racer, and the rest of them are going to have to sort themselves out by the time they get to the line. Lee Elric on the inside line of Cliff Harper. Harper third in the championship, goes on the inside now. In behind is Greg Sutherland in red, and the blue car with the white top, which is Doug Simpson, 6th in the championship. Stephen Goldie is 5th in the standings, immediately ahead of him, and as predicted, the safety car comes out, so they all sort themselves out. Liam McGill having done the hard work off the start, and there is the number 7 car, which is being pulled out of the gravel. There's no other way that was going to get out, so hats off and thanks to the marshals for their great work as ever. So getting ready for the restart, lights out on the safety car. Liam McGill is in front, started from pole, and he's got to do it all again. I don't know, I should probably ask the drivers whether they think that safety car starts are more pressure or less pressure than starting on the front row of the grid, certainly for pole position for the first time, which Liam McGill did. In fact, David McNaughton on pole this year, Gary Clark, Ali Smith as well, Fraser Huntley has taken pole positions as well over the course of the season as they go up the hill, and it's Liam McGill who looks to have paced this one okay. We'll see whether there is a challenge as we go down Duffus for the first time. He looks in fine fettle. Alistair Smith second, Gary Clark with registration plate askew on the front of his car, the defending champion, runs second in the championship, and he's in a fine third place at the moment. He'll be, I think, relatively happy with that so far. Started 6th on the grid, so made up 3 places already. But Liam McGill, one of the newcomers in this year's championship, and in fact runs 3rd in the newcomers championship behind Alistair Smith and Jake Hutchison, who is the newcomers championship leader by some considerable margin, it must be said. And Hutchison, let me see, 40 points for a win, so we've got 160 points on offer coming into this meeting as Ashley Morris comes along the railway straight down into the tri-oval section. Blue car with the white top. It's Doug Simpson dicing with Stephen Goldie, those two 5th and 6th in the championship. David McNaughton immediately behind, who is recovering after that tag, is 4th in the championship standings. Lee Elric championship leader, 16 points clear of Gary Clark. Cliff Harper 3rd from David McNaughton, Steve Goldie, Doug Simpson, Jake Hutchison top newcomer, he's in 7th from Ashley Morris, Ali Smith 9th and Andrew Mackey in 10th position. And this is the battle for 4th place at the moment. Lee Elric, the championship leader, in behind and putting big pressure on the 72 car of Cliff Harper, and you can see just how much on the limit these cars are. Rear wheel drive, got to be careful of the curbs because it's so wet and slippery. If you take too much curb, can throw the car right off kilter. No problems for the race leader though. Liam McGill not had a win so far. He's had 3 second places in the championship, 2 retirements this year, missed a couple of rounds, one of which was the away round at Rockingham, which is a big ask for a lot of the drivers to be able to do. So Cliff Harper in 4th position, Lee Elric 5th, so time to reflect on points, I guess. 5th position will net the championship leader 30 points, and 3rd place for the man second in the championship will net 35, which will bring the gap down to 11 points. So it will still, after race 1, if it stays like this, give Lee Elric a reasonable lead. But Gary Clark seemingly finding some decent form again after that blip in round 6 and 7. Round 6, which was the second race of the weekend in June here at Knockhill, and the opening race at Rockingham, where he was 11th, 10th and 11th in those 2 races. 4th position, a return to form in round 8 at Rockingham, and he's been a lot more with it since then. So Gary Clark hoping to be the second driver in the championship's history to reclaim the title. Alan Kirkcaldy winning in 2013 and 2014. So things looking relatively settled at the moment. This is round 13 of the championship. Oh, and a wild moment there for Greg Sutherland, who loses momentum, and about to pounce here on the inside line is David McNaughton. It's the outside run as they come down into the hairpin. Has he got clear? I think he probably has, but he doesn't want to squeeze across until now. So McNaughton goes across, makes the pass on Sutherland. A little bit of momentum loss for the 97 car. And the next target for McNaughton, who qualified in second, remember, and had that tagging down on McIntyre's on the first lap, trying to fight his way back up the order, and now looking to try and pass Cliff Harper, which he does. That was a good move there by the 23 car. David McNaughton won both races last time, of course, here, and had pole position, so really showing some qualifying form. Last time we were running in the reverse direction. And fascinating meeting, as I'm sure anyone that saw it would agree. But in some ways quite nice to be back to what we're used to for the run into the end of the season. A big sideways moment by Greg Sutherland again, who is throwing that car around. Stephen Goldie up ahead of Douglas Simpson at the moment, as indeed he is in the championship standings. So Elric and McNaughton getting stuck in still. So there is Doug Simpson, the man from West Linton. 1 retirement so far for him this year. Best result of 2nd place at Rockingham, round 7, the first of the 2 races on the Corby circuit, which I think was generally regarded as enjoyable for all of the Scottish contingent that went down there. The Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup had around there as well. But this race looking settled. Who's fastest lap at the moment? Liam McGill has got that, the race leader, and potentially heading for his first race win here, Liam McGill, as we pick up with Ashley Morris in 77, the 29 car of Andrew Prince. And Ashley running well. Andrew Mackey in behind in the 53 as well. So Ashley Morris having a good battle here with Andrew Prince. Prince is 4th in the Newcomers Championship, incidentally, this year. He's only 8 points behind Liam McGill, but that will open up with McGill winning this one. McGill will try and close in on Ali Smith, but not close enough to make up that position. And Jake Hutchison will retain the championship lead for the newcomers in this one, but it may well close up the way things are going as we head into the last round. Let's see if Ashley Morris can make the move on the inside line. As a little look at the run into the hairpin, the LED Scotland car putting the pressure on. Great livery on that car. And Ashley Morris will try again as they go up the hill. Meanwhile, David McNaughton pulling away, a bit of space between himself and championship leader Lee Elric, and again runs wide, uses a bit of that escape road again. And he's trying to hunt down on Gary Clark, who remains in 3rd place. The top 3, Liam McGill, Ali Smith and Gary Clark, they're not troubling each other at all. Really, the closest battle looks to be behind McNaughton, because Lee Elric and Cliff Harper are there. Harper looking, oh, and off again goes Greg Sutherland going wide, and Sutherland could lose a place here. Sutherland coming under big pressure, coming under pressure from Stephen Goldie, but on to the last lap. You can see Stephen King in green, having made it out of the gravel. He's going to be non-classified, but he has had some laps here, which is good. and probably might have thought he wasn't going to get any laps, but he is being caught by Liam McGill. So Liam McGill, the race leader, he's also got the fastest lap. Second place still with Ali Smith, a couple of seconds down the road, but McGill looking for his first win. Manages to pop the pass on Stephen King. Will Ali Smith get past him as well before the end of the lap? That remains to be seen, but McGill now's got a big enough cushion to maybe take things easy. The lights are on, and it is going to be another first-time winner here in the Scottish BMW Championship. Liam McGill, he's had 3 second places this year, 3 on the bounce in actual fact. It was a retirement in round 12, but he bounces back from that, and McGill will definitely take the win now as he goes up the hill, followed by Stephen King. Second position though behind King is Ali Smith. There's the win. Liam McGill takes it. Second position Ali Smith. Gary Clark is going to take third and close in on championship leader Lee Elric. Fourth position will go to David McNaughton. A good recovery from David. And then Lee Elric in 5th place ahead of Cliff Harper. Douglas Simpson 7th, Stephen Goldie in 8th from Jake Hutchison, and then Andrew Prince in 10th. 11th was Greg Sutherland, 12th Andrew Mackey, and 13th Ashley Morris.
Race number 2 for the Scottish BMWs, and the rain has just started to fall really hard now. This is probably the worst conditions we've had so far this weekend, as Liam McGill lines up on pole position, again having won his first race from pole position first time out. So he's going to be confident with this, but the young team, as I call him, on the front row, Ali Smith, he's going to be keen to take his first win as well. I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through all the action.
Thanks very much, Joe. Liam McGill on pole from Ali Smith and Gary Clark. David McNaughton on the outside of row 2. And then Lee Elric and Cliff Harper. Doug Simpson next from Stephen Goldie. Row 5, Jake Hutchison and Andrew Prince. Then Greg Sutherland and Andrew Mackey. Ashley Morris and Stephen King ahead of Gordon McShannock. So conditions not much better here for round 14 of this year's championship. 5-second board is being shown. Lighting sequence is underway. Liam McGill looking to make it a double, but he's got Ali Smith for company on the outside of the front row. The lights go out and we are racing here. Gary Clark switches to the outside line, looking for grip, looking for a way past. Cliff Harper is there as well, and it's Ali Smith that leads. Liam McGill is down in 3rd. Gary Clark up into 2nd place. McGill's going for the burn up round the outside. 4th position is David McNaughton, yet gets his nose, keeps out of the escape road this time. Cliff Harper is in 5th. Lee Elric and Stephen Goldie side by side, on board with Goldie. Let's have a look for Elric on the inside. Cliff Harper immediately in front. She looks a little bit clearer from the onboard position here than it does from the outfield cameras. A little bit brighter, but nonetheless the spray making things very difficult for the drivers indeed. So Ali Smith is the race leader, Liam McGill 2nd, then Gary Clark, the number 1, denoting that he is the defending champion. Right at the back of the field, the number 7 car of Stephen King looking to try and make progress in this race as well. As McNaughton looks to the inside line, Gary Clark taking a wide line in and hanging on to 3rd place, looking to try and get the championship gap down. As we mentioned in race 1, it did indeed come down the gap between 1st and 2nd in the championship to 11 points. Gary Clark will be looking to do even more with that. And by my mathematics, I think congratulations due to Jake Hutchison, who has the newcomers title now, because he was 156 points clear, and there were only needed basically to pull 4 points in that race to secure the newcomers title. So I think congratulations due to him, but again, all subject to official confirmation. But Jake Hutchison, by my reckoning, newcomers champion. Last year was Lee Elric, and the year before was Gary Clark. So Jake Hutchinson, if he follows in the tradition of the newcomers, could be an outright championship contender next year. But congratulations to him. Ali Smith, though, what a first lap run. He's looking for win number 5 this year, but Liam McGill piling the pressure on. And in the wet, overtaking is going to be an absolute premium. The good thing is it's wet, and it's not a question of there being a drying line. Oh, McGill won't get anywhere doing that. He goes very wide indeed, as indeed he did on the first race, remember, went very wide after the restart behind the safety car, very nearly threw it away, but came back on track. And again, miraculously, doesn't really seem to have lost much on the race leader. So Ali Smith the leader, Liam McGill in second, and then third place, a distant third at the moment, is still Gary Clark. Clark will be looking, though, at where Lee Elric is and maybe where Cliff Harper is as well. David McNaughton, again on my maths, I think up to third in the championship by 2 points now ahead of Cliff Harper. But just some quick sums that I've done in between races. And Harper on 4.23, still possible to win the championship because there are 40 points for a race win, as Liam McGill really piling the pressure on Ali Smith now. So we've got the 4 times winner versus the lone debut winner from this meeting, and Smith having a look. He's all over the back end of the leader. It's a good job they're clear, because Gary Clark would be snapping at their heels and maybe trying to force them into a mistake. You can see the opposite lot coming into effect. The drifting here in the wet is happening a good deal. Cliff Harper still in fifth. Lee Elric is a little way down the road at the moment, so he's going to be losing more points here on Gary Clark, and this is looking good for Gary heading up into our last meeting in October. It's going to be a fascinating last 3 races of the year, and this is the first of those. And McGill again all over the back of Ali Smith, the man from Peterhead, running in the Newcomers Championship as well. So Smith still in front at the moment. Where is the 62 car going to be able to make a pass? That's the question. He's busy sussing out the man in front at the moment, and sitting right in the spray right behind him. Looks to the inside, goes outside, so too does the race leader. Here we come, down Duffus, into Leslie's and into McIntyre's we go again. Smith still there from McGill. McGill can take a slightly wider line, grabs the apex there, starts to put his nose down in front. Can't quite draw level with the 28 machine, but he certainly does seem to have a little bit more in reserve. McGill, remember, got fastest lap in race number 1. They're still following each other and incredibly putting away from Gary Clark. Look at that sideways stuff from David McNaughton. Conditions not getting any better, as you can see here. It's a tough race out here for these Scottish BMW Championship runners. McGill throwing up the spray. You'd have to argue that he was in the better position here, because he's not getting anything thrown at him by anybody at the moment, and he might want back markers as McGill comes offline, looks down the inside line. Liam McGill into the hairpin. It's the uphill climb now, going a little bit wide. There was Ali Smith, and it's side by side, and it's now going to be a scramble down into Duffus. We're on board with the race leader, Ali Smith out front, Liam McGill on the inside line. I was going to say we can't see him, but just as I was about to say that, there is the nose of the 62 car, who goes through into Duffus and takes the race lead. Ali Smith's going to use the escape, goes through, he has lost the lead, and Liam McGill is on for a double. This so far looking like McGill is a completist, because remember, he had pole position. He soaked up a lot of pressure in race number 1. We didn't see him headed in race number 1 for sure. We did see him struggle going off onto the dirt, but he came back on. He had pressure that way. But this race, we've seen him... Oh, and off goes Greg Sutherland. So Greg off, and Doug Simpson going through on the inside line. Lee Elric there as well. And I'll come back to my little summary about Liam McGill in a minute, but this is a great 4-way scrap with Lee Elric, the championship leader at the moment, heading this group of cars with Greg Sutherland. Looks like a number 9, but it's actually the 97, the red car in the mix as well. Tough conditions for all of these drivers. So it's McGill out front from Ali Smith, and then Gary Clark and David McNaughton still dicing hard behind them. Cliff Harper, and then this group of cars. You can see Cliff just ahead of them through the spray. So this is for 6th place, and Elric here, that would be 29 points, maybe to 32. So the championship gap will come down again as the 97 car gets into all sorts of problems once again, and Lee Elric here is consistently picking up points. And really, if things stay the way they are, all he's got to really do is shadow, and it sounds easy, but potentially all he's got to do is shadow Gary Clark at the last meeting of the season without the likes of David McNaughton getting a massively bigger score, or indeed Cliff Harper for that matter. That October is still a few weeks away as they splash around this circuit once again. Here is McGill. Now let's go back to the summary. Race number 1, lights out to flag with fastest lap as well. But this race has actually seen him come from behind and work hard as a racer to get back into the lead. He's still under pressure as well from Ali Smith, who is still hounding him in second place. But McGill looking good. This isn't over though yet. And Ali Smith still piling the pressure on, but McGill looking to try and make it a double. Smith's got the fastest lap of the race as well in this one. McGill's best one came on the previous tour, and at the moment the Ali Smith is lighting up the timing screen, so he might get a better one here. But it looks like Liam McGill has done enough, because he comes out of the hairpin for the last time, and he's going to make it a double as we go up the hill. It is going to be Liam McGill that takes 2 out of 2, despite the attentions of Ali Smith, who challenges him all the way to the flag. McGill wins, Smith second. David McNaughton is a little way back, 10 seconds or so on the timing screen. Here comes McNaughton for third place. Fourth is going to go to Gary Clark. Fifth, Cliff Harper from Cliff Elric. Then Stephen Goldie, Doug Simpson, Greg Sutherland and Andrew Prince. Lee Elric's championship lead now down to 8 points. 11th was Andrew Mackey from Stephen King and Ashley Morris.
Dave, nice to see you back on the podium. Race 1 didn't quite go to plan, an early on spin and a long day to recover.
Yeah, it was a tough day today. We got turned round at McIntyre's in the first lap, so the guy behind hit me. I don't think he meant it. It was just a hard day for everybody out there. So turned round, we went from nearly last back up to 4th, gave us a chance to get in the podium race 2. So we got up there. Unfortunately, my windows missed it up after 2 laps, so I had to back off from everybody, let them demist before I could actually get head down and go. And we came back, got a 3rd. Really chuffed for that. Nothing much. Well, couldn't do much else than that. So.
Don't look chuffed.
Yeah. After a double win last meeting, we were really up for it this week, and then it didn't go our way in race 1. Obviously, we getting turned round. So as was. The team have done a fantastic job with the car. Big thanks to Balgoni, ALM, Trap Brake, Vero Software and Audio Emotion. So thanks, guys.
Well done. Ali, well done. Second place again. Couldn't touch Liam. He's got something special in these wet conditions. You'll be hoping for a dry final round.
Yeah, it'll be good. See how it goes in the dry, but no, he was quick in the wet. It's a good race, good battle. Just made up mistakes, so comes to us all.
Well done.
Cheers.
What a day. Pole position, 2 wins, faultless. You'll be hoping it's wet every time.
Yeah, it would be great if it was, but I'm not sure about that. Knockhill weather is unpredictable though. But Ali got away at the start, so he definitely didn't make it easy for me. Was slightly catching him, but it was quite hard with the rain. It was very hard to see once you got close, but eventually I got by him, pulled out a wee bit, but then towards the end he started reeling me in again. It was basically a drag race up to the line, so it was quite close.
You'll be looking forward to October?
Yeah, can't wait. Perfect.
Join us next time, final round of the year for the BMWs. Well done to Ali for this weekend for the double win, but make sure you tune in next time.